In the first phase, when the epicenter was in China, one country, and it was a matter of dealing with the import of cases from China, I think we have been able to contain and manage the imported numbers. But now, as all of you know, the virus is spreading very rapidly in other countries outside of China. In fact, it's even higher now outside of China, new cases. And increasingly, we will be exposed, given how open and connected to the world we are. And that's why Minister Gan and I have both highlighted that because of this exposure, we must expect our numbers to go up, and we must expect to deal with the virus for quite a while. And in this new phase, border controls will become less effective because you cannot identify a clear epidemic center outside of Singapore anymore. We still were able to, and after China, we identified a few countries, but increasingly it will be harder and harder to do because the virus is everywhere. You cannot identify clear epidemic centers to stop the number of imported cases, and there will be undetected cases everywhere in the world, and we cannot isolate and shut ourselves from the world. So as border controls become less effective, we have to redouble our efforts within Singapore. We are not helpless in this scenario. Increasingly, individual and social responsibility becomes a more important part of the defense. So we've said from the start that we have to have a system of multiple lines of defense, and the most important line of defense now is what we do within Singapore, and that's why this SG Clean campaign is of vital importance. It's to rally everyone together in order to build up our defensive systems. And all these measures may seem quite simple, but they really have an effective way of slowing down the spread of the virus. Because if you look at the cases of infection we've had so far and the clusters we've had, a lot of it comes about from gatherings of people and close contacts of people. They could be gatherings in a social setting, in a religious setting, in a workplace setting, but it is that contact with people, and very often it is an infected person who is symptomatic but continues with that gathering, and then the virus spreads. So being responsible, if you are sick, not going out, these may seem like very simple things to do, but they are of vital importance. And if you think back at just your individual's experience, how many times have we gone for meetings where we have seen colleagues just next to us coughing and sneezing and saying, oh, it's okay, I'm all right. How many times has that happened? Or what Minister Masago said, how many times have you had experiences where you're sitting together having a meal and people are double dipping with their same utensils, and maybe someone is even coughing and sneezing at the same time, and then we say, oh, it's okay, it's just a mild cold. So we cannot allow these things to happen anymore. We need to raise our level of hygiene, personal hygiene, public hygiene, social responsibility. I think these are critical part of our line of defense to fight against COVID-19 virus spreading within Singapore. It will have an impact in slowing down the spread, and that's of utmost importance in this new phase where we see the virus spreading everywhere in the world and Singapore is exposed. So we should take these efforts very seriously. They are equally, if not more important than the border control measures that we have put in place. And with all of these measures, we hope we will be able to, even if we have more imported cases, slow down the spread of the virus, continue to contain that spread of the virus within Singapore itself.